welcome to the Administrator General's Department. You may sit. How can I assist you?
My child's father recently died and he will never leave a will. We have a 16-year-old son together in Leff. Houses, cars and money. And I can't access it.
Okay. Alright. So to begin with, you need to complete this form by answering all the questions, providing as much information as you can about the deceased, his assets, his family. Upon completing the form, you are to sign here before a justice of the peace and return it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
So, on returning with the form, you will bring the death certificate for the deceased, the birth certificate for your son. If you are married, you will bring a marriage certificate. Or if you're a common law spouse, a spousal order, along with proof of the assets listed on the form.
I particularly love this series, and I know you will too, and you will find it very, very informative. It's now time to step into another segment of Leff. It's the Leff series, and this is an ongoing series where we will be learning about the role of the AGD and what goes into the process of the administration of estates following the passing of a homeowner. Administrator General and a CEO in the Administrator General's Department, Stacey-Ann Carty, joins us again this morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Not look dead left, but you're alive and well. Yeah. We're grieving with you. Oh my God. But Stacey, a lot of persons have been, you know, talking about, you know, say, boy, Miss Kitty will love this. And I'm like, we didn't even start good yet. But I love the fact that we have piqued their interest, and so that is really good. And so I want persons to learn, right? Because when you have knowledge, you can execute properly.
Exactly.
So this morning now, Stacey, we're talking about reporting
a death
to the AGD,
so
right?
What's a proper way to go through and let the AGD know that you know, someone has passed and they do have assets?
Yes.
Okay. So firstly, anybody can report a death. It can be a person's family member, it can be a church sister, it can be a neighbor. Anybody can report a death. It doesn't matter who it is. You don't have to be related.
So you don't have proximity?
No, anybody.
Why have they, why, is that by design?
Yes, because people with proximity might have an interest not to report it, right? So really, however the information comes to us, the important thing is that we know so that we can start what we need to do. So you don't just take up the phone and call us or send us an email, though. You actually have to complete a form. It's called a form of particulars, and it's either at our office at 42 Union Street, that's the NHT building in Mobay, or at 12 Ocean Boulevard in Kingston. And it's on the website as well. And you just download the form and fill it out. Now the form asks your entire life story. When you were born, what is your name, your mother's name, your father's name, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle? Where did you live when you died? Did you die as a result of an accident? What is your NIS? What is your TRN? Did you have any assets? Like, did you have a bank account? Did you have your employer didn't pay you all your salary? Did you have a house? Did you have a firearm? Whatever it is, we need to know. And then what happens is that the person who is telling us, whoever it is, because remember, it can be anybody, will sign it in the presence of a justice of the peace.
Right.
And the reason for that is that it is a declaration. So we're trying to ease out the mischief makers. Because if it is that you have lied, we could actually take you to court because you'd have lied on a declaration. So it's a very important document, but it also gives us a good starting point. As you can imagine, we don't know most of the people who die, so we don't know where to start with the investigation. But when that form comes to us, we can know what you left, where do we write to, who do we contact so that we can get the assets.
It sounds like it's very important for someone to dutifully, carefully fill out these documents. Like you need to take your time and do it properly. So yes, anyone can do it, but and anyone can do it.
So that's an excellent question, Dennis. The truth is, few people are going to know everything we're asking for.
Exactly.
But we don't need to have one form. We could get 15 forms for one person, and then we piece it together. So you work with Kitty, and so you know that her employer is CVM, right? I might have gone to school with her, and I know her mother's name. So everybody comes with a different piece of the puzzle, and then we put it all together to say, this is the story of Stacy.
Well, what if, for example, the detail of the form, some people say, that's too much information for really write down, or I don't know how to do it on my own. Is there anybody, or are there people at the AGD who will actually sit down with you and go through with you?
Actually, the person who had the green shirts on in customer service is our customer service officer, Mr. Morris.
Hi, Mr. Morris.
Yes, he's a star. He's won the customer service awards many times over. And he has been there for over 20 years. When you know what you know, you know what you know, and he knows it very well, very compassionate, very caring, and he will walk you through if you're unable to write. Not everybody is literate. We can help you to complete the form. If you can't sign, you do your X before the JP. So it's not excluding anybody. Anybody can come and complete the form. The other thing that we need is documents. So you said the person died, but we need a little proof. We can't just take your word that the person
So what do you
has
need,
died.
a death certificate?
A death certificate is the best thing. We could have a burial order because depending on when you come, the death certificate, the pink slip, you're in the know. Yes, the death certificate may not yet be ready for a variety of reasons. It might be that the person died yesterday, 2 days ago, it's not ready. It might be that the person died in a shootout or something that needs to have a coroner's inquest. So that's going to take a while. Not a problem, because we will still start our duty. We let you do what you call an affidavit in proof of death. Again, it might sound complicated, but we will help you through the process to complete any document that you need.
One thing, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, so after that process, so we filled out the form, we got all the information together, we got all the necessary, documents, supporting documents. What's next?
So one other document that we need, as you talk about proof of assets, proof of death, proof of relationship. So if it is that you're saying you're a spouse, we need to have the marriage certificate. If you do not have a marriage certificate because you have been living together, we need to have a declaration of spouseship. We might say this every week, but it's so important. It's the nature of our family structure in Jamaica that not everyone is married. And so persons need to know. So we might repeat it, a little patience. So just wanted to seep in the power of repetition. And also, if you are a child, either the birth certificate or if your father's name is, it never have an issue with the mother.
So
if
on the birth certificate.
On the birth certificate. So if your father's name is not on your birth certificate, you have to go to court and get a declaration of paternity. So once we have all those things, we start our machinery internally. So we have to write to all the financial institutions to say, Stacey Ann Carty has died, this is her TRN, this is her NIS, search your system and let me know if she has an account with you. Because the truth is we're going to write to all of them. You may have reported one, but you, as you said, you don't know the person's entire life story.
The person might have tucked something away somewhere.
And Jamaicans are secretive, They don't want you into the belly of their business. So you're going to know a little piece, and you know a little piece, so we're trying to put the pieces together. And so we write to every financial institution, every insurance company. Did they have an insurance policy with you? Does it fall to the estate? We go to the National Land Agency, search to see if there's any land. So we do a clean sweep to see if there are any assets at all.
Scour the place. Is there a cost to all of this, Stacey?
So the costs are on the back end. There's no upfront cost. And so the cost is a percentage of what the estate is valued at. So we determine that at the end, yes. So there is, and it's not arbitrary. Everything in our office, you will notice from the series, has a piece of legislation behind it. And so we have a fee schedule that Parliament has enacted to say, this is what you can charge for. If it's not in the fee schedule, we cannot charge for it. And actually, as we speak, we are reducing our fees. It's going to Parliament very shortly because we have to make sure that we're not overcharging any
it's not prohibitive for
correct.
One of the things that I found interesting is that I'm going to reinforce the importance of justices of the peace in our society. They play an important role. They have a purpose in this process because you want to secure the integrity of the process. And you would hope that persons would have access to justices of the peace, that they might be able to go to them, because is it just the declaration that they take?
Right, two things. We understand the importance, and we also understand that although we are trying to widen access, not everybody knows a JP.
Right.
So we have JPs in-house.
Good, okay.
So if it is that you don't know one, we can provide one for you in-house as well. If you're overseas, because the diaspora is huge, and persons have assets here, and persons do die overseas with assets here, they can use a notary public to notarize their form. But we do have quite a bit of persons coming from overseas to do the administration of estates as well.
So don't be afraid, guys. And remember, we did it some time ago, Dennis, that JPs are not to be charging to sign any documents at all. And if any JP is charging, you need to report them, okay? But as Stacey is saying this morning, there's no barrier. Just come in to the AGD, talk to them. There is somebody to help you, and they're more than willing to do so and to get this process on the way.
Help them put the puzzle together.
Yeah, lovely.
Indeed.
Nice,
indeed.
thank you, Stacey.
Well, our guest has been Stacey Ann Carty, the Administrator General herself, the CEO in the Administrator General's Department. Coming up next, it's going to be time for When I Grow Up. You don't want to miss this one. More Sunrise after these.